Hi, my name is Mejia, and today I'll be showing you how to make this Lime for Life brain boosting dessert. This key lime cake will boost your brain's health once you eat it because it includes sources of carbohydrates, omega-3, omega-6, vitamin B12, dopamine, iron, zinc, and sodium. So, without further ado, I'll show you how to make this amazing Lime for Life key lime cake. So, the ingredients you will need for the cake are eggs, canola and olive oil, whole milk, sugar, flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, and last but not least, limes. And for the lime cream cheese frosting, you will need softened butter, softened cream cheese, powdered sugar, and once again, limes. The first step in the preparation of this key lime cake will be to preheat our oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, in a large mixing bowl, we are going to add the following. 3/4 of a cup of canola oil, which will provide us with omega-3. Omega-3 is very important for your brain as it improves your mood and memory and protects your brain against disorders ranging from depression to dementia. Also, omega-3 is needed in high concentrations in your brain in order to build healthy cell membranes, reduce inflammation, promote new cell formation, and form important brain chemicals. Moving on, we will add 1/4 of a cup of olive oil, which will provide dopamine. The dopamine will make sure we don't experience lack of motivation, fatigue, addictive behavior, mood swings, or memory loss. Instead of experiencing any of these, dopamine will contribute to a high level of intelligence, allow us to form complex social interactions, use language, to plan and to set goals and boost our drive, focus, and concentration. Now we are going to be adding 1 and 1/3 cups of whole milk, which contain complex carbohydrates, omega-6, dopamine, and vitamin B12. We already mentioned what dopamine does to our brain, but what do these other components found in milk do? The complex carbohydrates along with the omega-6 will keep our brain active and healthy by providing energy, which is really important because 20% of the energy we produce goes to our brain. And let's not forget the vitamin B12, which is very important because its deficiency can lead to dementia, memory loss, severe poor concentration, depression, and schizophrenia. The vitamin will also maintain you in a good mood and improve your memory and coordination. Next, we are adding 2 tablespoons of fresh lime zest and 1 tablespoon of fresh lime juice, which will increase the absorption of iron, which is fundamental for the brain. After we have added this, we are going to add our 3 large eggs, which are basically the superstars of this recipe as they provide omega-3, omega-6, dopamine, vitamin B12, sodium, iron, and zinc. As we already discussed, omega-3, omega-6, dopamine, and vitamin B12 are really important for our brain, but so are sodium, iron, and zinc. Sodium is an on and off switch for kinase receptor, a major neurotransmitter receptor in the brain, which is fundamental for normal brain function. To add on, without enough iron in our brain and nerves, you can develop problems with neurotransmitter signaling, the formation of nerve insulation called myelin, and brain energy metabolism. Moreover, zinc allows for your brain to form ideas quickly and efficiently, and it also maintains your brain health and memory functioning. Once we have added all of these ingredients, we are now going to cream them for 2 to 3 minutes. For this, I'm going to be using a mixer in medium speed. While we wait for the ingredients we placed in the mixer to cream, meaning that they get light and fluffy, in a large bowl, we are going to add the following. 2 cups of sugar, which are going to provide us with simple carbohydrates. These carbohydrates will provide us with an instant energy boost for ourselves and our brain. 2 cups of flour, which will provide the energy from the complex carbohydrates and the benefits from the iron. Next, we are going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt, which will all maintain our brain functioning properly due to the sodium they contain. And the salt will also help your body absorb all the minerals in this cake. Now I'm going to mix this until they're well combined. Now that our dry ingredients are fully mixed together and our wet ingredients are creamed, we're going to pour our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients and we're going to fold it together until they are fully combined. Now that these are well mixed, we're going to set them aside and we're going to prepare our baking pans. So I suggest using 8-inch cake pans or 9-inch cake pans. These will be lining completely with parchment paper. Now what I'm doing here to make sure that I make the perfect circle that fits the bottom of my pan is that I'm cutting a parchment paper that is long enough to fit it, and I will be folding this into a triangle about 4 times. Then I'm going to turn the pan around so I can see its back, and I'll look for the center. Once I've done that, I'll place the parchment paper there and cut where the pan ends. Now when you open this, you'll see that it is almost a perfect fit for the bottom of your pan. Then we're going to be lining the edges of our pan, and for this you just cut a parchment paper that is thick enough to fit it, and you make sure you get all the edges. Once you've done this, you want to make sure you repeat this one more time for your second cake pan because we are going to be doing a layered cake, so you require 2 different cakes. So what I did was that I didn't have 2, so I just prepared 1, put it into the oven for 30 to 40 minutes, took it out, and then prepared my cake pan once again and put my second cake in for 30 to 40 minutes. It is super important that you know that once you take the cakes out, you need to let them cool for about 15 minutes or until they are cool to touch, because if you don't do this, then once you take it out of the cake pan, it will just crumble in your hands. So make sure that they're fully cooled down once you take it out. While we wait for our cakes to finish cooling, we're going to go ahead and prepare our lime cream cheese frosting. For this, we're going to be creaming together in a large mixing bowl half a cup of butter and 8 ounces of cream cheese. These will give us the energy from the complex carbohydrates and the omega-6 found in them, while the dopamine they contain will contribute to easily develop plans and goals. To add on, the cream cheese will also give us the benefits of memory and coordination from the vitamin B12. Once we added these together, we will be creaming them for 4 through 5 minutes or until they are light and fluffy. Once these ingredients have been completely creamed, we are going to add 4 cups of powdered sugar, which will give us the energy boost of the simple carbohydrates. And then we will add 1 tablespoon of lime juice and half a teaspoon of lime zest to make sure we really absorb the iron found in the cake. Once we do that, we will cream them together for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. And then we'll put this in the refrigerator to chill for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now that our lime cream cheese frosting is in the fridge, we are going to grab our cooled cakes and carefully separate them from the pan. Then we are going to place our hands over the cake and turn the pan around so our cake detaches from it. Now we will remove the parchment paper from the bottom of the cake and place it on a flat surface. Next, we will cautiously remove the parchment paper from the edges. And once that's done, using a bread knife, remove the round top. In the case of my bottom cake, I removed much more than for my top cake because we need it to be as flat as possible. Once both of our cakes are cut, we're going to grab our lime cream cheese frosting from the fridge and put a generous amount on the top of our bottom layer, which we're going to spread evenly. When that is done, we're going to place our top cake over our bottom cake and place some of our delicious frosting over it. Now, we will spread it, making sure that the whole cake is covered in a thin layer. This way, once we completely frost the cake, we'll have a smooth surface with no crumbs. Once we've done this, we'll place the cake in the fridge for about 20 minutes, or until the frosting has hardened. 20 minutes later, our cake is ready to be taken out of the fridge. Our next step is using the remaining frosting to create a thick layer around the cake. Finally, using a spatula or a spoon, we're going to be creating soft peaks of frosting. Once this is done, we are ready to decorate our cake. In order to decorate my cake, I just placed some lemon slices at the center and then sprinkled a little bit of lemon zest all over the cake. Once I have decorated, this is the final result for our Lime for Life key lime cake. Hopefully you enjoyed learning and making this with me. Have a great day and see you next time. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below and make sure you share this video so other people can enjoy it as well. Also, if you want to know where I got the recipe from, just check the description down below where I'll leave the link to the webpage.